Hello and welcome to this special episode with Lalit Modi. Over the last couple of days, we have seen a lot of writing, a lot of newsprint across the world, cricket world, especially in the UK, about Lalit Modi's riposte to an ECB declaration trying to raise capital for the 100 and saying that it's one of the best investment opportunities over the next few years, talking about its valuation. And Mr. Modi has been very critical of it. We have seen in the Indian media, we have seen in the British media, Mr. Modi's comments have been, which have been sort of established by everyone, why he has been critical of it. This is, by the way, his first video interview, and I'm making that clear that Modi has agreed to take all the hard questions. So, Mr. Modi, first thing is your view on the ECB sale of the 100. Tell, tell my viewers first what exactly you feel for it, because I'm quoting you. You said it is much like the Ponzi scheme, what the ECB said. Why did you use such harsh words, and your view on the ECB sale of the 100?
The use of the harsh word was actually looking at the last scheme that they put out with Stanford, which was actually turned out to be a Ponzi scheme. It's not like Stanford, but in effect, if you look out the document that has been put out by the ECB, right in the beginning of the document, of the glossy document, you will see a disclaimer out there. The disclaimer clearly says we are not responsible for any numbers. We are not guaranteeing any numbers. None of the numbers that we have put inside or our investment bankers have put inside this document are valid. And each one has to take a risk by himself. And nothing that we say in this document or any other document or any other agreement that we say is a fact. And it's up to you to decide. Now, for a layman who's sitting outside, and especially for investors, as I would look at it, especially from the point of view of Indian investors who have little or zero understanding of the English market, you put out numbers, you're hoping that the governing body that puts out these numbers, that's something that you can rely upon. If you say there's nothing to rely upon, then obviously I find that to be suspicious and something that needs to be looked at very clearly. This is just to protect the interest of people that are big. So that is my whole issue.
So, as a follow-up, if I ask you, why do you feel so strongly against this proposal? I mean, clearly at one point you were interested. Why do you feel so strongly about this proposal today?
I was interested, yes, but on a completely different format. And I'm strong about it. I'll come to that. Yes, I was interested. I did put up, we had a discussion with the ECB. I could have leaked that document long ago. I chose not to leak that document because the negotiations went nowhere, and I said, okay, leave them to the good faith, and I wish them all the best to go forward. It was only when yesterday the ECB chairman came out with a rebuttal and said that I made an offer. Yes, the offer was made based on a completely different aspect of what I wanted to do. I wanted that the hundreds have baggage, it hasn't worked. They've tried to change the format a little bit here and there. It's a format that is not recognized anywhere in the world, in the international world. Only in England, it's a new format. And in that context, I wanted my proposal was to do an IPL type of a tournament in the UK, to buy the window out completely from them and to run a tournament independent of the ECB by giving them fat chunks of money and license fee and developing the media market, developing the fan base locally with new teams altogether without having the baggage and the controls of the ECB or the counties on top of that. And that is why my proposal was quite different, but they didn't take it, so be it. But looking at their proposal, and looking at the way they have been structuring it, and like hyping it up to such a level, saying that everybody's interested, and of course people are interested. Don't get me wrong. If the price was right, the numbers are right, I would encourage everybody to bid at it. But from what I understand is, some clubs are expecting valuation of £100 million. I mean, even the worst clubs, which have the lowest attendance or fan base and have the lowest chances of success, are expecting between 50 to 70 million pounds in valuation. They expect those numbers, and that is also for that's for 100% valuation. So if you take 49% is what they're offering for a minority stake, they're expecting half of that. Now, why would anybody want to pay $150 million or even 30 or 40 million pounds, sorry, for a stake in a club which has minority stake, still has no guarantees on the numbers? And that is why I want them to be cautious and not investors not to be caught up in the frenzy that there are lots of buyers. Of course, there will be a lot of buyers and interest in a country like England, which is a sporting country around the world. And England has a great legacy of sporting clubs. You've seen that in rugby, you've seen that in football, and I'm sure that will be relevant in cricket too. But what they have done with the 100 is not something that is appealing to the rest of the world.
You've given me the macro picture. Can you break down the proposal? And you called a Ponzi scheme. Can you break it down gradually so that people can understand, Indian investors who are interested can understand, viewers can understand? Can you give me the micro picture now, please?
Yes, if I give you the micro picture, let me refer, so I'm not going off the charts. I mean, the main issue with media rights, if you look at the media rights of the television, they're saying that this year, which is the signed contract, is 37.8 million pounds. In 2032, that's going to go to 85 million pounds. Now, I'm just talking about domestic rights. In domestic rights alone, the market in the UK is currently flat for all sports. Forget cricket. How do they expect, where sports is all flat, to go to such high numbers, where they only have a signed contract up to 2028, which is 54 million, 0.3 for domestic rights, and then I cannot fathom that those numbers are going up and the market is declining for those numbers. In every sport, whether it's football, whether it's tennis, whether it's rugby, it's declining. Why would a format in the domestic market capture the imagination of more viewers out here? It's the same tournament which has been running for the last 3 years. There is no change except they're saying we're going to have a little tweaking by bringing in an IPL owner. No Indian players, mind you. Same English players, mind you. Same amount of purse that is there. Only that the ownership changes at the top level, partially, which is a minority stake, which in some cases, in the case of Oval, I'm sorry, they're saying we won't even give management control. So in that context, it's going to continue to run the way it is, take the money of the investor that is coming in, and hope that roll the dice like in a casino and hope that something will work out and something will fall right. Their projection that they're projected is the best case scenario projection. When we put out the IPL tender way back in 2007, at that point in time, we ensured we had $1 billion deal, non-negotiable, in the bank before we went for the franchise agreement, selling the franchises. So we already had $1 billion agreement in place, and 80% was going to go to the franchisees. So our minimum bid price, say, was $50 million in those days. So that means it was payable over 10 years. Here, a team only had to pay $5 million in year one and $5 million every year thereafter. I guaranteed them that they will get $5 million back minimum, even from broadcasting revenue alone. So year one, the Sony was 60 million, 59 million to be exact. 80% of that came to $41 million. Divided by 18, so $5 million approximately, a little bit higher to each team. So we were able to balance that, and I said risk level will be taken out. You have to pay the cost of the players, operational costs, but you have the upside of ticketing, sponsorship revenue, your own team sponsorship revenue, other media rights. So it was already in the bag. International rights. That was one issue. Secondly, there's an issue regarding sponsorships. Now, in a market that is flat, going from 5.7 million to 32 million, again, is wishful thinking. Have they demonstrated that year after year the sponsorship revenue is going up? It isn't. Even in the guaranteed revenue, it's 5.7 going to 6.3 next year, which is the signed contract. How the jumps are going to take place, that is going to take it to 32 million. Then you come to the major issue. There are 2.1 million pounds today for international rights. They have signed the contract for next year, 2.3 million.
I was about to ask that because you've been very critical about their international valuation projections because no league has international rights make this kind of money is what you've said. That was my next question. So yes, can you please elaborate on this international rights part a little bit in detail?
It's a major issue because out here, it constitutes by the year to 2032 close to 47% of total revenue that the 100 is going to make. Now, in the IPL, we are close to 3%. International right only constitutes 3%. That too for IPL, which is a global phenomenon. Okay. Now, as far as the CPL is concerned, a major cricket league in the US is concerned, Major League Cricket in the US is concerned, Abu Dhabi, the Middle Eastern League is concerned, South African League is concerned, the Big Bash is concerned, which have many years under their belt and have great cricketing, these are great cricketing tournaments and have established themselves in the domestic market, have negligible, and I mean negligible international revenue. Now, they say that India is the mecca for cricket. Yes. India is a mecca for cricket, for Indian cricket, not for international cricket. For Indian players, people will pay and watch. Nobody is watching non-international players. Then they go on to say that the American rights are going to go up phenomenally. It has never been proven by anybody, including the IPL, that American rights are valuable to that extent that the EPL is, as the 100 is put in. Clearly, they're saying that the World Cup that took place is a demonstration of that. They're saying the Olympics coming in is going to be a further demonstration of that. Okay, let's take them for that and go back to the World Cup that just finished. Who watched the World Cup? You saw it, everybody else saw it on the screen. Only India matches were watched. That too, India, Pakistan, and some other matches. None of the other matches will be watched by anybody else. So if people are pegging their quote onto saying that because the World Cup has done well, it hasn't performed well. It performed for the ICC as a global tournament right out of India because India was participating and India made it to the finals. You saw the debacle that happened in the West Indies in 2007, I think, or 2007, when India got out. And you saw the collapse.
Bangladesh and we lost to Sri Lanka and we were out, yeah.
And you saw how the viewership decline had a major impact on the viewership and on the revenues of the ICC at that point in time. So you cannot base your international right assumption on that. If you take these two numbers out and you apply even a 5% increase on a year-to-year basis on this year's basis, and you apply it to the business plan they have projected going forward, you will see there's a loss all the way through to 2032.
Lalit, if I play devil's advocate and ask you that there is tremendous, the ECB chairman says there is tremendous interest. Is there any way that you could be wrong and they could be right?
I am saying today again, there's tremendous interest in cricket. There's a tremendous interest in English cricket also, provided it was done rightly and it was a tournament which is priced rightly. Is there a tremendous interest of 300 million? I can tell you right now, none. It would be, there's not a single team that will take a valuation of 300 million and ready to pay Lords or over 150 million to 49%. I can guarantee that right now. If they can sell Lords and Oval for 150 million, I will stop commenting on any cricket going forward.
It's a big statement coming from you. Big statement coming from you.
I will close my Twitter account down. I will close my social media account down if the ECB is able to achieve a 300 million valuation for any of its teams.
Lalit, his social media accounts down if ECB achieves a valuation of 300 million. Come on,
for any team. For any team. Opportunity. For any team. And I will keep quiet for any of its teams. One single team they can get 300 million, I'll be really, really surprised.
Okay, England is a known destination for sports, Lalit. Cricket is a national pride. You said yourself that T20 will do well in England apart from India. Why did this change of heart? Is there a change of heart or you're trying to rationalize the price points? What is it?
There's no change of heart. I said very clearly T20. I didn't say the 100. It's a totally different game. Everybody around the world knows T20. I said very clearly, if you had a T20 and the ECB still can go out and make it a T20, nobody's stopping them to do that. What is the difference? Instead of having another 20 balls, I really don't understand. Why can't they just fall in line with the rest of the world and have to distinguish themselves as the 100? How many formats are you going to develop and try and introduce in the new world? America is a new world for them. India, the established T20 market. South Africa, the established T20 market. Caribbean is the established T20 market. Australia is the established T20 market. How many people are going to go out and explain what 100 is now? At the end of the day, I mean, it's just a fundamental issue right there. And so, if the tournament was a T20, I would be less skeptical. But it is not a T20. It's a 100. It's a totally new format.
Let me get you back to the question you said you will answer later. You made a proposal to the ECB, which you were told they rejected. What was your proposal? Tell us about it. Are you not reacting because they did not accept your proposal? Are you reacting because they rejected it? Are you reacting because you are now reacting to their rejection of Lalit Modi?
Absolutely not. I'm reacting because they actually made it public that I had made an offer of $1 million. I could have made it public myself. I didn't make a proposal. I made it. We have started negotiating. If you look at my, I sent you a copy of the proposal. Please show it to the viewers. It says I'm withdrawing because you are going ahead with the 100. I'm not wanting to make any. I don't even want to make an offer for the 100s. It is a format that I don't believe will work. I said that very clearly way back in May when I sent the letter out to them. And it's clearly said that very clearly that I'm not interested. I wish you all the best luck because I will only be interested if you change your heart and make it into a T20, make an exclusive window available to me. I buy the tournament in perpetuity, all your players available to me. I can sell the teams to who I want. I can negotiate the media rights with who we want and not be subject to the bundling with the ECB. Now, if you look at the ECB document, they said they will be bundling the rights with the ECB and they'll apply a fair value to it. Now tell me, who's the judge of fair value? Now somebody will say, sitting in an ECB chair, I'm getting 100% of county cricket and the bash and of international cricket, which is part of the package with Sky. They don't negotiate component-wise. And T20, not T20, the 100 is a smaller component of it, and so that should be X amount, and the other one should be Y amount. Why should we get into that bickering? Why can't they just say, the county cricket is this, bash is this, the 100 is this, and international cricket is this? Why let there be ambiguity? They have the chance that the tournament that they're selling is next year, and if they believe in the tournament, like we did, go negotiate with Sky now. Did we renegotiate a contract with Sony? After year one, when we felt that we had over-delivered, we thought we had over-delivered and we had been underpaid. And so we negotiated from 1 billion to 2.4 billion in 10 years. So we were not afraid of putting our money where our mouth is. We wanted to give the maximum return to our investors, which were the team owners, and to the fans as such, give them back what the property that they're building upon.
Lalit Modi, at some point in time, that 1 billion to 4 billion story has to come out, maybe in the film, because you going from Delhi to Kenya and then to Johannesburg, that story has to come out. What happened in your house when then you went for the when you were traveling, when that contract was faxed to you. Those stories need to come out at some point in time. Any couple more questions?
I know you were supposed to do that movie. We were waiting for you to start.
Yes, we will. Yes, in fact, they are all ready with the dialogue. They are waiting for clearance and this thing, because so we'll get to that. 2 questions, and this is something except the IPL, things have not.
You're cutting out. Can you ask the question again? You're cutting out.
Yeah, I'm saying when I see IPL and I see a big bang, I see a South Africa, Dubai, IPL, no league comes close. Forget the 100, because the world over. If any players are associated with LeBron James, for example, cannot play for 2 teams. You cannot, you think cricket franchise suffers with
Absolutely. I completely agree with you there. That is why the wise decision that the IPL has taken and the Indian board has taken that Indian players cannot participate in any other tournament around the world. First and foremost, why? Number one, how many days can a player play? There's going to be player fatigue. Take into account, they have to play international calendar, they have to play domestic calendar, they have to play the IPL. Okay? We know that when I was in the ICC way back in 2007, 8, 9, 10, that the maximum days that a player should be put on the field is 105 days. Okay? Now, some players are playing far in excess of the 105 days today. And so, if an Indian player wants to play for an Indian team and wants to play for another team, there's of course a conflict of interest out there because he might get injured there and in that context and may not be able to perform for his home team as far as that's concerned. If you're seeing the same problem taking place with just two additional games in the Europe in the football league now, in the Euro League and the Europa League and the UEFA League, sorry. UEFA next year decided to increase two games, and there's going to be a riot by the players because they don't want an additional burden on themselves by two other additional games. Here you're talking about a whole new tournament, and for many of the players, at least from the West Indies, Sri Lanka, New Zealand, and South African boards and the West Indies board are playing in multiple tournaments around the world. And that is going to exhaust them. They have no loyalties toward one tournament or the other, or one team or the other. It's more that it's more money based, to tell you the truth, and nothing more and nothing less than that.
Last question, Lalit Modi. Somebody I was speaking to said that Lalit Modi is grudging Indian investment. This is because he's not involved with the IPL.
Absolutely no. IPL is my baby. I will never judge myself not being IPL. You know it, and I know it. I have been always commenting on IPL. I think that the team under Jay Shah has done a great job with the IPL in the last so many years. Out there, IPL has been continuing to perform and continue to scale new heights. I could be a more proud person than that, a proud father for a league that I created. And yes, I am upset at the fact that they're trying to lure Indian teams to participate in the 100. If you look at it, their statement last year, they said we don't want Indian IPL owners to be participating in it. They tried their hand by going to other places. They found nobody. So now they were stuck with it because they already made a commitment that they're going to raise 500 million from the sale of the team. And so who else will they go to? Go back to the IPL team. But now you can go back, and I think the IPL team will be great for them if they were able to have another outlet. They've already invested in a few other leagues. And only one of them that is successful is in the Caribbean, and to certain extent South Africa. The Middle Eastern League is doomed. The American League is completely doomed. There is no chances of that success. There is no chances of the Middle Eastern League having success. South Africa will have a limited success in their country, a great success in the country, but not in the international market. The CPL is doing great in the domestic Caribbean, but not in the international market, but that's good enough. They're able to sustain it and build it on that. And they have great viewership. And so I'm extremely happy that the Indian teams have invested in those leagues. And it's another avenue of them to be able to put their expertise out there and garner new players for the domestic IPL. Because they can choose and see, they have to still go through the auction of the IPL. They can't just pick up a player and take him and put him in the IPL. Okay? But they can identify the talent and allow the talent to come through the auction in the IPL and then have a chance to bid for him. So I'd be extremely happy if all the 8 franchises were done by bought by the IPL team owners in England at the right price. And the right price to me, which I'm going to give a detailed calculation, it's not ready yet, team by team. And I'll give the multipliers, I'll give the, what the multiple should be of going in and buying and the multiple for exit should be. And I'll give those data out in the next day or so. I'm still working on it because of a lot of work. At the right price, which in my view, a valuation of 5 to 25 at the maximum million pounds, dollars, sorry, not even pounds. For a team, that means the Lord's team, I would value not more than $25 million on a 100% basis. Now, if it's 49%, it will not be 12.5 because of not majority control. It will be less than that. You will discount it there. So from 12.5, it will go down to even 10 for 49% stake. And if you want to pay anything over and above, like they did in the IPL in the opening bids, my minimum bid was 50 million. Some people bid over 100 million. That is they fancy, and that's what I call a trophy. And IPL, luckily, none of them turned out to be trophies. They all were trophies. All turned out to be beautiful trophies that people not only could be proud of, but also make money out of it.
Fascinating conversation as always, Lalit Modi. But just one passing final question. You praised Jay Shah and his team for running the way they have the IPL. Jay Shah is now chairman of ICC. How hopeful are you about Jay Shah as chairman of ICC? Another Indian making it to the top post of ICC, and that to the youngest chairman of the ICC.
It's a very commendable thing for a youngest chairman of the ICC to be an Indian. I'm sure that if he's able to do the same thing that he has been able to do with the IPL, the ICC will also prosper. Wish him all the best, and we hope that the ICC, which has had a tremendous task going ahead with the Olympics coming up in Los Angeles, will be able to show a new light and bring in new clubs and new players into the fold. And if they're able to garner a little bit more support outside of the Commonwealth countries for cricket, that will be a big boost for cricket itself. But that is not a 2 or 3 or 4 year task. It's a minimum 10 to 15 or 20-year window. But you start somewhere, and it's the right time to start because the short format will allow the game to go further inroads. And why not take it to the Olympics?
I'll let you go there. I'll let you go there, and hopefully we can start with the film soon because your life is fascinating. I mean, and to document it objectively with the gray, not a unilinear narrative of success, because that was not the point of me writing that book. We exposed the darkness. Hopefully, it will be a real picture which will make for fascinating viewing. Lalit Modi, thank you very much as always for joining me and taking the hard questions. I knew you would. I asked you all the hard questions, but I'm glad you decided to take the chin on. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Wish you all the success. Thank you.